everything is sound. Einstein said, "The entire universe is made of vibration, and matter is simply vibration slowed down enough for the eyes to see it and for the senses to feel it." Distill the essence of anything that you think you see or know. This room, the people next to you, even your own thoughts. Everything comes down to its vibrational source. Hearing is one of the first senses that develops in the womb, and it's the last sense that leaves us in death. When we come to understand our universe as a waveform, we begin by perfecting our listening. Because eventually, we want to be able to listen with more than just our ears. Change your vibration, and you can change your life. Now, I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. And I'm not telling you this because I'm an audiologist or or because I work with hearing and hearing loss every day. It's because you have already experienced it. Let me put it to you this way. Have you all noticed that the world has a really weird vibe going on right now? Okay, not just me. All right. It's confrontational, right? It feels out of alignment. There's something about the way that some people resonate that isn't corresponding with the way you resonate, and that can be really uncomfortable. We human beings, we have an innate desire for harmony. We crave synchronicity. Now, how many of you are musicians? Yeah, right? Musicians know this. The innate desire for harmony is most easily seen in stringed instruments. Go to an orchestra concert sometime and get there early enough to watch them tune up. Why do they tune up all together? Wouldn't it actually be easier for them to tune up back in their dressing rooms away from everybody else? Or maybe just get together in little pairs of like instruments? The reason that they do this is because if there's even one instrument that is slightly out of tune, all of the other instruments actually will pull the out of tune instrument back into tune. It's a principle called entrainment. Now, entrainment doesn't just happen for musical instruments. It happens to us as human beings on a physical level. When you get bodies into a room in close proximity to one another, kind of like you are now, your heartbeats will fall into sync with one another. The energetic field of your heart is so wide that it actually reaches out of your chest over to the person within about 10 feet of you, and your heart beats in train. This is no joke. You guys can Google this. Entrainment also happens in the animal kingdom. Schools of fish entrain. There isn't just one lead fish standing out in front of all the rest of them, telling them, okay, everybody, let's all go right. But they all know. There's such sensitivity and receptivity within their skins and bodies that they all know how to move and flow together. Ants live in far more densely populated areas than even the most crowded groups of humans. But here's the thing. Ants never run into one another. They feel the vibration of the beings next to them. It just seems like we humans, we've forgotten. Now, some of my most cherished work as an audiologist has come as a global hearing ambassador for the Starkey Hearing Foundation. I've had the privilege to work both locally and internationally in India, Peru, and Guyana, helping to give the gift of hearing to people in need. Now, this is no small task for the foundation. The World Health Organization actually estimates that there are 360 million people worldwide with disabling hearing loss, and most of those people have no economic means to get help. They are often marginalized or oppressed or disconnected from their friends and family. Many of these people have been isolated from their communities. Now I have to tell you, watching someone hear for the first time, it is like some kind of supernatural drug. There is literally nothing except maybe the birth of your own child that might prepare you for this hit of goodness. It begins on a typical mission day. Hundreds of people come from miles away, and they await their opportunity for their gift of hearing. And as you call that next person over, and they come to sit in the fitting chair right in front of you, and their eyes look up at you, and you just know. They're hoping, they're waiting. Some of these people, they may have endured shame or ridicule or even denied basic education. Some of them have been taught to be silent. So as they stare up at you, eyes filled with hope, they hope that somehow, some way, you might just be the person that will help them hear again and change their lives.
¿Escuchas? ¿Me escuchas bien? Sí, sí.
That muted hearing aid, it's placed on their ear. And at that moment in time, that small instrument becomes like a magic wand, ready to alter their lives in an instant, and you feel like Cinderella's fairy godmother. Watching someone hear, there's absolutely no greater gift in the world. And as you see them transform, they go from this moment where you're increasing the volume, slowly increasing possibilities as you speak into the microphone with every inch of the dial, and slowly until then it happens. Anticipation gives rise to a pause, a moment held in time, a transition. The eyes widen, and pure joy cannot be missed. This person has moved from silence into sound, and you feel it. It's like a rebirth, a transformation, a plugging back in. Their lives and the lives of their families have gone from muted black and white to full technicolor in a matter of moments, and you realize that you've just witnessed their miracle. But ladies and gentlemen, that's not why I'm standing before you today. I'm standing before you because I'm here to tell you that hearing, well, that's the easy part. It's what comes after hearing that's hard. Because then and now, you must listen. Listening is deliberate. Listening is to place your intention and your attention over to the meaning of those sounds. Sounds that have power to connect and uplift, or to ignite shame and to create fear. To really listen is to recognize that your thoughts and your words and your actions leave a footprint, a vibration that begins to ripple far beyond that next piece of matter that just happens to be slowed down enough for your eyes to see it. Maybe just as the fish and the ants in train. We humans, we do this with our words. I believe not listening is the great wound impacting the world as we know it. And if disconnection is the great wound, then perhaps learning to listen is where the healing begins. Now, I'm not telling you that I've mastered the art of listening. And my husband would actually be the first one to tell you that often we're engaged in a conversation as I turn, walk down the hallway away from him, doing the next 10 things on my laundry list, and into the next room while he stands at the end of the hall responding. Okay, I'd never do that to a stranger, but I'll do that to my loved one and my husband every single day of the week. I might be hearing him, but I'm certainly not listening. A world without listening is a dangerous place. When we're scared or angry or overwhelmed and reactionary, we can't listen thoughtfully. We lose sensitivity, and it breeds collision. And now, I want you to listen, to really, really listen. Close your eyes. Close your eyes and open your ears. Allow your auditory awareness to reach to the far corners of this room. What you're hearing right now are crickets. Only crickets. And listen closer. These cricket chirps have been slowed down, revealing their real tune. This is the sound of life. When you slow things down and pay attention, you'll come to find the things that you didn't already know were there, but were there, all the same. You could take a very deep breath in through your nose, and exhale, let it go. Inhale, blink your eyes open. So it's up to us to do the work of listening, to show up and let any dissonance be realigned. Each one of us is a valuable instrument in this life's performance. Every one of us has a valuable resonance in this life's performance, and that, my friends, that can change the world. When we come to recognize our universe as a waveform, we begin by perfecting our listening, because eventually we want to be able to listen with more than just our ears. Thank you for hearing me. And better yet, thank you for listening.